What is up, you guys? In today's video, I'm going to give you the math that you need to know in order to grow your woodworking business. Let's dive in. All right, as always, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zach Vaught. I started back in my garage in 2017 and really didn't have any idea what I was doing from a business standpoint, but I started learning business principles that changed the trajectory of my career. And so they changed my woodworking business, where I was able to scale that to $70,000 per month with multiple employees while I was a full-time pastor and did that on the side. Okay, so I want to walk you through the math that you need to know in order to grow your woodworking business. And so there's so many metrics and things that we could dive into today, but I want to give you some really straightforward math that you need to understand and you need to know, okay? And this is also going to help you determine what products you want to sell, okay? So the one thing that I want to just encourage you with and help you understand is that the only numbers that really matter inside of your business are your top line revenue, what your net profits are, and how much it costs you to get a customer. Okay, these are actually the only numbers that really matter. In fact, I would even say the only number that really matters is your net profits. How much money do you get to keep at the end of the day? There's nothing worse than having $1 million a year business and it costs you $1,001,001 to run it. We don't want to do that. We want to have higher margins so that we can keep more money. That is the goal ultimately. But I want to walk you through how to plan and map out your financial future inside of your business. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple examples here, and I'm going to walk you through the numbers that you need to know to really start casting a vision for where you're trying to go. So the first thing that you need to know is your total revenue goal divided by the average price of your product. So let's say right now, I'm going to give you an example that your revenue goal is $1 million a year. $1 million is how much total revenue I want to bring into my business divided by the average price of your product. And let's just say for clean, easy math, the average price of our product is $2,500. That's a say 6 or 7 foot dining table with 6 chairs. So that's going to tell you the total number of units that you need to sell to hit your revenue goal. So here we go. $1 million divided by $2,500 for each unit equals 400 units or 400 sales. So that means that I know that in 2025, if I want to sell $1 million worth of custom furniture at $2,500 a piece, I need to sell to 400 clients, okay? This is how we reverse engineer our goals, okay? Then you need to know your average cost to acquire a customer in order to sell 1 unit. So let's say in this example that our average cost to acquire a customer is $250. Now, if you're only relying right now on word of mouth or referral business, first of all, it's going to be very difficult to scale a business. Word of mouth and referral business is super unpredictable. So you have to start spending money on advertising and you're spending money to get customers. But our goal is to always spend less money to get a customer than what that customer is worth. Like in this example, for example, let's say that your average cost to acquire a customer is $250. Well, we just said that our average unit costs $2,500, right? So that math makes sense. I'm spending $250 to get $2,500. And so just so you guys know, at the height of my business, my woodworking business, our average cost to acquire a customer was around $400, which seems like, man, that seems crazy that you'd spend $400 to get a client. Well, except every client was worth on average about $4,100. I was making $4,100 for every $400 that I spent, right? Which is a trade-off that I'll make every single day. So after we know our total revenue goal divided by the average price of the product, that tells us how many units we need. Then I need to know what my average cost to acquire a customer is, and then we multiply that by the total units that we have to sell in order to hit our revenue goal. So in this example, we've got $1 million divided by 2,500 is 400 units that I need to sell. My average cost to acquire a customer is $250. And I want to multiply that by the 400 units, which tells me that I need to spend $100,000 on advertising in order to hit my top line revenue goal. These are the basic numbers that you need to know, okay, to get started. Now, the other numbers that I would say that you need to know are your net profits. You need to understand what is left after all my expenses. This number is the ultimate, most important number that you've got to know, but you need to run everything through your business through QuickBooks. You need to be working with a bookkeeper and an accountant so that you can get an accurate and up-to-date picture of what your net profits are. Now, you can increase your net profits multiple ways. You can increase your net profits by increasing your pricing. You're doing the same amount of work, everything's just a little bit more expensive. Okay, so we increase our prices. The second thing that you can do is you can lower your cost to acquire a customer, right? So it costs me less to get a customer. The next thing that you can do is you can offer upsells or cross sales. right? What is that? What does that mean? Okay, so if somebody's building a house, for example, and they come to you and you're the table guy, they come to you and they're going to spend $4,000 with you to buy a new table set. Well, they probably need new doors in their house. They probably need a fireplace mantle or open shelves. There's 1,000 other things that you could do, but if you are just the table guy, you might miss out on that work. But if you can do other things, you might turn that $4,000 order into a $10,000 order by offering cross sales, right? Which is, hey, I can do your barn doors. I can do coffee tables and your bedroom furniture and your living room furniture, right? Let's work up a bigger deal, right? That's cross-selling, okay? And so there are so many ways to increase your net profits. Here's what I want to really spend the rest of our time on is this example I gave you. We had to spend $100,000 to make $1 million, okay? Our average cost to acquire a customer was $250. Our average price per unit was $2,500. Okay, that's the example that we use. Now, here's where getting better at business is really fun. Just getting a little bit better at business can dramatically change your profitability and your net profits. Okay, so let's say that you increase your prices by 20%, which sounds like a lot. But let's say that you have the best product in your market. Okay, you figured out how to source better lumber, get a better finish on the product. You figured out how to create an experience for your clients where it is hands down, you are the guy in your market to do the thing that you're doing. Well, we increased prices by 20%. So the $2,500 per unit is now $3,000 per unit. And so we increased prices by 20% because you're getting way better at what you're doing. And now you're also getting better at marketing and sales. So you're figuring out how to get more leads and you're figuring out how to convert a higher percentage of those leads into actual sales. So your cost to acquire a customer goes down. Your average price per unit has gone up. Your cost to acquire a customer has gone down. We still have the same goal, $1 million in total revenue. Now your average unit is $3,000. Which means that $1 million divided by $3,000 average price per unit means that I only have to sell 333.33 units as opposed to the 400 units prior. I don't have to sell nearly as many units now to hit my top line revenue goal. What's cool is now my cost to acquire a customer is also lower. So instead of spending $200 to acquire a customer, let's say that I just have to spend $200 to acquire a customer. So what you would do is you'd multiply the cost to acquire a customer by the total number of units needed to hit your goal, which was the 333. And so you'd have 200 times 333, which means that I would only now have to spend $66,667 in order to hit my $1 million revenue goal. So you see how by getting a little bit better at our product and our experience and providing a more valuable service, getting better at marketing and sales, driving down my cost to acquire a customer, how I've created this extra net profits inside of my business, okay? So with that, we've literally lowered our advertising costs by 34% and added an additional $34,000 to my bottom line revenue. So by manipulating these numbers, I hope that you can see this is why it's important to get better at business, to continue to improve your skill set, improve your brand, get better at what you do and how you do it. Now, the one thing that I want to leave you with on this video is that these are the types of thoughts that you need to have when you're growing your business. Let's say you want to leave your job. Let's say that you have a great six-figure job, $100,000 a year, but you hate it and you're trying to leave it. Okay, well, your net profits need to be six figures inside of this business to be able to transition into your woodworking business without suffering, right? Without cutting way back, so on and so forth. So you need to look at what am I selling? How many units do I have to sell? What are my net margins? Then from there, how much am I going to have to spend in order to get all these customers? These are the types of thoughts that you need to be having. And so this is also, by the way, why I am such a huge proponent of selling expensive goods. For those of you that are watching that are selling $60, $100, $200 items, it's just very difficult to really scale on a large level when your cost per unit is so low. Why? Because what's really hard to do in a business that's selling low ticket products is get your cost to acquire a customer less than the cost of the product. I know people think, oh, it's way easier to sell a $100 cutting board than it is a $1,000 table. Maybe. In my experience, and this is where everybody is going to argue in the comments or leave me dirty messages or whatever, but in my experience, people still have to go through the same process in their mind of, am I going to give this person money or not? Whether it's a $100 item or a $1,000 item. Now, if it's a $10 item, that's super impulsive. If it's $20, $30, it's still super impulsive. But when you get to a $100 cutting board or a $150 gizmo or whatever it is that you sell, for most people, that's above the impulse level. that they're going to spend money on, right? So I want to make every customer worth as much money as I possibly can so that I can spend money in marketing and maintain a healthy margin. If your cost to acquire a customer is $200, I want to be selling a $2,000 item or greater. I want to be selling expensive things so I have more margin inside of my business. And so just a quick recap before we end this video. Total revenue divided by the average price per unit is going to give you the number of units you need to sell in order to hit it. Then you need to start figuring out your cost to acquire a customer. If you're not running any type of paid advertising right now, you don't have any idea. But I will tell you that if you're trying to scale predictably, you need to start running paid ads. That's where a company like us can really come in and help guys like you inside of the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. If you are trying to grow a custom furniture business, be sure to check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program down in the description below. Fill out the form. Let's hop on a call. Let's see if we can partner together to help you reach your goals. But you need to be thinking through cost to acquire a customer, and then how do I get better? How do I increase my average price per unit? And how do I lower my cost to acquire a customer so that I can add more net profits to my business? And so hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, I would love some encouragement, some thank you, Zach. Thank you for producing this content and helping me in my business. So with that being said, be sure to check out all the resources below. And as always, love and appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.